Cabinet Secretary Jim Gray. I am honored to be here today so that we can work to elect so many of these great Democratic candidates. And I'm excited that we've got a couple of members of the administration here today, but just one of them has a birthday today. Today is the birthday of my senior advisor and great friend, Rocky Atkins. All right, so you gotta help me, and I'm not using the mic for this. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. 25. Happy birthday, dear Rocky. Happy birthday to you. All right, folks. As you know, early voting has already started. This election is underway, and make no mistake, we can elect a lot of Democrats up and down the ballot. If you go back to 2019, when so many of us were working together, they told us it couldn't be done. But we came together and we beat an incumbent governor, Matt Bevin. And we had come together to run and win that election, thinking it was an election about right versus wrong. Turns out it was an election about life versus death. Amen. So I hope each and every one of you are proud of what we did that year and what we've done together to get through this pandemic.
Yes.
I will tell you the question I get asked most often, as does our Lieutenant Governor here, is, Andy, did you have any idea what you were getting into? And my response is always the same. No, did you? Now, it's okay that we admit these last 3 years have been hard. They have. We've been living through difficult, historic moments, one on top of another. It's a pandemic that's now taken 17,400 Kentucky lives. It's the worst tornado event we've experienced in our history. The worst flooding event we've experienced in our history. Most people don't remember we've been through 2 ice storms in that period of time.
Seriously.
We're dealing with inflation that, while temporary, is tough on our families. We even have a war in Europe going on right now. Who would have thought we'd live through that in our lifetimes? But you know, I have faith. I have faith that we can rise up and meet every single one of these challenges, because I know what type of people we are. Kentuckians are good people that care about one another, that sacrifice for one another, that open our homes and our hearts for each other in our times of need. So no matter what this world throws at us, I know that Kentuckians are strong enough to take it. I also have faith because I have seen what we can do together. Just think, last year, in the midst of that pandemic, even while we were all sacrificing for one another, we didn't just break. We shattered every economic development record in the books, and it wasn't even close. On an average year, we bring in about $5.5 billion of new private sector investment in Kentucky. Last year, we brought in $11.2 billion. On an average year, we bring in about 7,500 new jobs. On a great year, 9,000 new jobs. Last year, a record 18,000 new Kentucky jobs. Our second best year for economic development this year. We've had an unemployment rate below 4% since April, the longest period of time in our history that we've had an unemployment rate below 4%. We've seen the largest revenue growth in 41 years in our state. We've had the 2 largest budget surpluses in state history, and we are about to have the largest budget surplus in our history this year. You know what that means? We got more than enough money to get those teacher raises through. dad of 2 middle schoolers going through it. And the thing that I know more than anything is if you want to catch a kid up on math, they've got to have a math teacher. This last year, we fell from 42nd to 44th in teacher pay. I'm ashamed we're 44th in the country in teacher pay. But you know what? We can give that raise. We can pass universal pre-K. We can provide more professional development. We can provide more social, emotional learning tools for our kids. We can do all that this next session and still have $800 million left over. It's time we get it done. And when we are coming together to do the right things, look what happens. The last 18 months, we become the electric vehicle battery production capital of the United States of America, right here. We're becoming the agri-tech capital of the United States of America. We're home to the largest investments in the history of Ford Motor Company, of Amazon, and of so many others. We've announced the largest investment in the history of Western Kentucky. We've made announcements in Eastern Kentucky, the likes of which we have never seen. We have a chance to create prosperity all across this Commonwealth. And what's that really about? It's about a dream that we all share. Every single parent and grandparent across Kentucky. And that's that our kids will never have to leave this Commonwealth if they don't want to. Because we make every possibility available for them right here. To make that happen, we need these leaders here today on this ballot in Frankfort, helping to make it a reality. If you think about those states, yes, we're emerging from a deep, dark, difficult, historic moment in COVID, but what's ahead of us is more potential than we have ever seen. A chance to not just leapfrog 10 other states' economies, but to be a top 10 state economy. Think about this, because I don't remember it ever happening in my lifetime. In August, your Commonwealth, Kentucky, was #1 in the entire country in new job creation. And in September, we tied for first, meaning 2 straight months of #1. Sure, there was New Hampshire, but we were still #1. What you have in this room are amazing people. They have put their name on this ballot. They go out and they work hard every day, and as Sherilyn will tell you, they are doing it for the right reasons. The candidates here care about your access to health care. That's why I was proud that last week we announced that we're expanding Medicaid to dental, vision, and hearing. The candidates here don't only care about education, they are pro-public education, which we need more of. And the candidates here will put your family first. Not sit around and talk about a supermajority. Not puff their chest, not worry about their power, not try to invade both the judicial and the executive branch, but instead just show up every day to do the work of our people. And when I say that, it is all of our people.
That's right.
Listen, elections, yes, they're partisan. Yes, we run with a letter behind our names. But the moment we are called to serve, every single Kentuckian is our constituent. And we will give each and every one of them our very best. So are you ready to work hard these last several days? Are you ready to knock on every door? Are you ready to write every postcard? Are you ready to make every call? Are you ready to bring folks back to the House of Representatives? Are you ready to send some great new folks to the House of Representatives? Are you ready to elect some more Democratic senators? All right, let's get out there. Let's work hard. Thank you to each and every one of you. will on election day and encourage everyone, no matter how they're going to vote, to get out there, to make their voice heard, their vote heard. This is the bedrock of our democracy, and I know this party still believes in our American democracy. Thank you very much.
Governor Andy Beshear, Thanksgiving's coming up, and I've had the honor of working in some way, shape, or form for two Governor Beshears. My bet's on Andy Beshear at Thanksgiving table because he has endured a lot, but has done so much for our Commonwealth Governor. On behalf of all of us here and in Kentucky, thank you. Thank you. All right, next up, we're going to keep this going. Next up, we have a dynamic leader who the governor introduced earlier because he is the birthday boy. But